Well, I think I can officially say that I am a glutton for punishment.
Hey Dad, you should make something cool.
So a couple of weeks ago, a good friend of mine, longtime friend, approached me and asked me if it might be possible to help him refinish a bass guitar for his daughter. He and I have been friends for going on about 40 years now. So of course, I said, sure, I'd be happy to. This is something I've recently been getting into, and certainly willing to help someone who doesn't have either the tools or the skills developed to do this kind of work. So he said if I bring it over, do you think we give it a look and see what we do? And I said sure. I dove into it with relish. I said let's do this. And I figured be an afternoon. We'll take we'll dig out the fretboard restorative and oil, and maybe take some cleaner to the finish on the guitar body, and yeah, all of that pretty much got dashed when he got out of his car. Um, and this is this is kind of what he brought us. So what we have here is the remains of a gremlin. Uh, um, I don't even know how to begin to describe this. Okay, essentially this is a Gremlin short scale bass. Most people have never heard of a Gremlin. Certainly, I've never heard of a Gremlin, so I had to go and do some research. And this is a this was intended to be an inexpensive student style guitar. It was made in the late 70s through the mid 80s. And it truly is, now by today's standards, I'm going to start by apologizing to any professional luthier who is watching this. That this is one thing you will, if you take a close enough look here at the body, we're going to look and see that this would appear to be made out of medium density fiberboard or MDF, which is wow. But that's all I gotta say. However, that said, I mean, it's not really good tone wood, but I mean, if you give it a little clunk here, there isn't a ring to it, but it's got some tone to it. It's not bad. Um, a previous owner at one point had wanted a fretless bass, so they had gone and yoinked out all the frets. My friend tried to put new frets back in. Only one of them managed to stay put. The rest, he's got loads of glue all over the place. Um, Another item that we have a problem with is the ferrules for the tuners. Um, he's only got one. He's got full set of tuners on here. That's fine, but only one of the ferrules, and that is a problem. These are, I've probably spent several nights now looking for these. These are very unusual. The closest thing I could find to this is a Ping P2681. What makes these a little unusual, and I'm kind of wanting to get these or get something close to this, is because most tuners these days, you've got a set of screws that are set in close. You've got a set of tuners that are screws that are wider apart, or you've got a single screw holding it down, or maybe two screws holding it down. Four screws in a rectangle. I can't find these anywhere. But I have found one place to get these They are not the same T-style tuning knobs, so I'm going to have to look at that. My friend kind of really wants to hold on to these. Now I may end up getting the tuners and just using the ferrules, and I'll do something else for the tuners on with those tuners on a later project. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, a full set of knobs and hardware to go with it. A set of pickups that are they should work. I don't know what they're out of, but they are the correct. They are the correct jazz pickups for this. No problems there. He did order a fresh set of electronics, so pots, cap, jack, just a little bit of wiring to get that done. That's not a problem. And then a set of strings and most of the screws, knobs, plates, and extra stuff needed for this. And after seeing this, I of course stupidly said, you know what? I said I'd do it, and okay, I'm in. Let's do this. So what do we want to do? And we took a look at this, and obviously, like I said, this is a pre-owned guitar, so we have to do new frets. In looking at this, I think there's a little bit of damage on the fretboard here, so I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of sanding to smooth it down, at least get all this glue off of here. The body, it looks like somebody tried to sand it down at some point or another and do some sort of, I don't know, Nightmare Before Christmas theme on it. I don't know, kind of this weird, weird little swirl pattern. The back is scratched to the high heavens. I don't know if you can see that terribly well, but that is just that is a lost cause. There is no recovering that. We've got it chipped down to the wood in quite a few places. It is scratched to the high heavens. So I think the best bet on this is going to be strip it as close to the wood as possible. Get ourselves a good smooth finish, and then new finish. I've been doing lacquered finishes on my guitars. I'll probably stick with it just because I happen to have it handy. There is a small shim here, so we may have to do some work on the fret or on the neck. The neck, surprisingly, is in pretty good shape. I mean, the finish needs to be completely redone, but this looks good, honestly. When I look closely up here at if I look up here at the where the headstock meets the neck, it appears that the fretboard and the neck are made from the same piece of wood. Just if I look here, I can see. Here we go. If I follow along here, I see the seam where the glue up is done. That's fabulous. This wraps around up on here, and when you look at the end of this, see if we can get a little closer. You really can't see it that well from here, but the grain on the neck lines up perfectly with the grain on the headstock. So I think this was all cut from one piece. So, which means it lines up, and it should sound nice and everything. We'll get it in and we'll tune it. There is just a little bit of bow to this. I've already checked that, and obviously once we get all mounted up, we'll just do the usual stuff with it that you would for a setup. But yeah, so where we're at, my friend is trying to get this done for his daughter, and wants her to somewhat be able to make it her own. So, rather than a restore to factory black. And I've looked around what few Gibsons I can find. The choice is black or red, like bright fire engine red. Originally, this was a discussion that my friend had with his daughter some years ago. She was on a pink kick. Okay, fine, whatever. I was good for it. But she has apparently since reconsidered and has asked if maybe we could do like a blue face with like a silver edging around the out of it outside of it, and I think that actually sounds quite fabulous. So I'm gonna work on that, and she's just got to select what shade of blue she's looking at. Beyond that, um, it's just going to kind of be restore, get it to see what we can do as far as getting this thing back into some semblance of playable, and just a nice guitar that somebody can learn on. This was he originally got it for her because she had showed an interest in learning to play bass guitar. She never really got into it. Um, Partly because she never got into it, but also partly because my friend was never able to get this guitar to where it was in a playable state. So he's trying to make good on a promise to her. She's kind of sort of starting to take an interest in it. Um, One thing I have asked her if she wants to deal with is if we want to make any comfort cuts on this. I have seen some modified ones in my research where the standard uh, the standard P base, just a little slice across there, maybe a little lap cut out there. So there's some options on the upside. We're not doing this as a restoration, so really this is mostly sort of going to be like a kit build, and that we just have whatever we want to do on it, and we will go from there. So I think right now it's wait for my friend's daughter to finally decide on what color she wants the blue to be. Acquire that. In the meantime, I'm going to get the tuners ordered up. Let's see. I have fret wire. I have a blank. I have some blank nut material that we can use for this, and I want to test these guys a little bit and do a little playing around. Uh, these are these are the right pickups for this guitar, but this padding has got them sitting, whoopsies, just a little on the high side there. So I think I want to take my time and work on slicing that down a little bit, give that a little room, and just work that out. And then, of course, it's going to probably be, I'll probably spend an entire day just stripping this entire thing down. I think it'll be start with some very coarse grit sandpaper. I don't know that I want to take it all the way down to bare wood. Um, One benefit of it already having a finish on here is that it does kind of help seal. Well, I would say it would help seal the grain, but it's MDF. There really is no grain, but it does help seal the wood and almost act, and that would take place of the primer. So it'll be strip the body, strip this, and I think at that point we should be ready to see if we can make this into something playable. So stay tuned.